Speaker 5, Elaine Janiak.
My name is Elaine Janiak, E-L-A-Y-N-E-J-A-N-I-A-K. My husband and I retired last year and relocated from Anchorage, Alaska, here to Portland in the fall. We have visited here many times to check it out, and we made the decision to live here based on walkability and public transit. We live in Sellwood, which is a very walkable neighborhood, and we are just thrilled that we can support local businesses, visit local parks, take part in the community all by walking and not have to use our car. But of course we want to take part in the larger Portland community life as well, and to do that we depend on public transportation. And we've noticed that since we moved in, there has been what I would consider a serious decline in the transportation service. The service frequencies on the 70 and the 19, which serve Sellwood, were reduced in August of 2009 and again in November of 2009. When I looked at the cuts, it seems like there was only one other route that had cuts both in August and November, so we got hit twice. And we're up again for service frequency reductions, both in June and whatever the seasonal adjustment is, and the proposed cuts in September. There are also proposals for reducing the number of runs on both the 19 and the 70 in September. And of course, as Matt pointed out, our one direct bus from Sellwood was completely cut last August. There were only 4 buses cut, 4 weeks cut, but that was one of them. And so now there really is no direct way to get downtown from Sellwood. Quite honestly, we feel like we arrived at the party after it was over. In the 6 months that we've lived here, we have never driven downtown. We always take public transit, and we're committed to do that, but there are a lot of challenges to it, and I guess I would just like to quickly maybe mention a couple of things that these expanded service frequencies and early cutoffs on the weekend, the kind of problems that they create for people who really are committed to not driving their car. We went to a wonderful Christmas concert in December at Trinity Cathedral. It was absolutely beautiful, the choir and members of the Oregon Symphony, and after we left, we walked over to PG Park and got the train, and then we got to Lloyd Center, and there we stood for half an hour in the freezing cold because the service is so bad on weekends, particularly Sundays, and the connection times just don't make it. We went to a wonderful series of fundraising concerts at Old North in the month of March, jazz concerts with all local musicians, Sunday afternoon from 4 to 6. We actually had to leave 20 minutes before the end of each of those concerts so that we could walk down and get the 19 bus at 5 minutes to 6. Otherwise, we would have had to have stood there for another hour waiting for another bus to go out to our area. And today, I actually take the 19 to get downtown. I have to drive up to Westmoreland, or have my husband drive me up to Westmoreland, and then get on the 19 because there is no direct bus from Sellwood, as we've said. So these things may not be as compelling as some people who've spoken, who don't have cars, who perhaps have disabilities, who need to get a bus to go to work or are retired. But, this is the life of the city. This is what keeps going. I mean, we want to contribute by supporting activities and events and volunteering and doing these things. And we don't want to drive. I mean, we want to support the city's plan to reduce people driving in their cars, single occupancy vehicles from 60 to 35. I don't know how you do that. If you cut service, it becomes more and more frustrating and people just start driving instead. So I guess at this point, what most people would say is, oh, don't cut my service, improve my service. But if you're committed to cutting $6 million by cutting service, if I say don't cut our service, what I'm saying is cut somebody else's service. And that seems very selfish. To me, it's also short-sighted because this is a network. And if your service is cut, then I can't transfer. I stand there waiting for transfers or vice versa. So I guess I just have to believe that in a $500 million budget, there's got to be $6 million somewhere to keep from, again, making service cuts that are so traumatic. And people really start not trusting and believing and relying on TriMet, which is horrifying. And providers by choice, like my husband and I, start finding other ways to get around. So I thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.